It has been 14 years since the Cincinnati Reds have won the National League Central, and 2026 is most likely going to be that year where they do it again. The Reds, currently at a record of 87 wins and 46 losses, are making their way towards winning the NL Central. Real quick, it is September, and we will call up Xavier Isaac from AAA Louisville. 265 this season, put up pretty good power numbers. I think it's finally time for Isaac to be a permanent player on this team going forward on the 26-man roster. The Reds are just a couple games away from winning the National League Central Division. Something else to note, we are, kind of in a fight right now to figure out who's going to be the 1, 2, and 3 seed in the National League. There's a chance even with a 91-51 record, the Reds could find themselves in the 3 seed, which would mean you have to play in the wild card round. If you're 1 and 2, obviously you get a bye straight to the NLDS. So the Reds still have, games to play if they do clinch this division, which they can do if they win one more game. They're taking on the 69-73 New York Mets, who, believe it or not, are not out of it. They're only 3 games back of the 6th seed or the 3rd wild card. So the National League has 5 really good teams, and then whoever that 6th seed is probably won't be all that good. So that's why if you do fall to 3 or that 3rd team to win the division, obviously, it's not the end of the world because you're going to be playing a pretty bad 6th seed, but you obviously rather be 1 or 2 and get that bye. Jose Urquidy, who is the All-Star Game starter for the National League, gets the start tonight for the Reds. And again, taking on this Mets team that does still have games to play for. He'll get Nico Hoerner here on the 1-1 pitch after getting 2 straight outs. And there's Teoscar Hernandez in left field. The only lineup adjustment tonight is that Matt McLain's getting a night off. Tommy Pham will be DHing, and Teoscar Hernandez will be in left field. David Peterson, the lefty, pitching tonight for New York. Elly De La Cruz is in the leadoff spot. We talked about in the last episode, he has fallen off drastically since that crazy start to the regular season, pretty much all the way to the All-Star break, but he's still doing all right, batting around that 273 mark. Here's your Reds lineup for tonight. It goes De La Cruz, Friedel, Harper, Steer, Hernandez, Tucker, Langeliers, Pham, and Ruiz in the 9. Of course, still dealing with that Will Benson injury, and TJ Friedel going to get robbed of a hit right there. Diving play at third by Jared Triolo, and Peterson's going to get Harper swinging on that lefty-lefty matchup. We go to the top of the second. Brandon Nimmo will lead things off for New York, and he'll be on, slashing one into left field. He's on with the single. Here comes Ronnie Mauricio, and he's going to hit that ball into left field. Back-to-back knocks for New York. They are on first and second with no outs for Matt Vierling, but here's your double play turn. Ruiz playing second tonight. He'll turn it to De La Cruz. Elliot Harper. 2 gone, runner on third, and Urquidy will get out the jam, getting that fly out into center field, and this game is still tied at 0-0 on to the bottom of the second. Spencer Steer leads things off here for Cincinnati, gonna hit one the opposite way, and that ball is gonna drop. Steer will be on here with a lead-off double, as he will get extra bases out of that one. Again, Steer standing in now scoring position. For the 5-hitter now, which of course is Teoscar Hernandez on the 2-2 pitch. Teoscar gonna hit that ball into left field, left center field, and that one's gonna get down more into center, of course. It's gonna get over the head of the center fielder in one, Matt Vierling. Teo going for 3. Yeah, he's gonna be toast. Steer's gonna score. Definitely should have held Hernandez at second base, but it's fine. 1-0 Cincinnati. Kyle Tucker, and yeah, that probably would have got Teoscar in. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. Kyle Tucker's on first base with a single, but it could be 2-0 if we didn't run ourselves into an out. Shea Langeliers will strike out on that fastball down and in. Tommy Pham gonna hit that ball on the ground right to the second baseman over in Nico Hoerner. We go now to the top of the third. Kevin Parada leading things off for New York. He'll ground one right to first and straight to Bryce Harper. 1 gone for Mauricio Dubon on the 2-2 pitch. Ball's on the ground again right to Harper. Easy routine, first 2 outs in the top of the third. Francisco Lindor, the switch hitter, now is going to bloop one over the middle. Can Esteury Ruiz get there? He will not. Lindor's on with the 2-out base knock, making way now for Jared Triolo on the 1-2. He will roll over right to Elly De La Cruz. De La Cruz to Ruiz as we go on to the bottom of the third. There is the aforementioned Esteury Ruiz, but David Peterson will set him down on a slider swinging. Elly De La Cruz probably should have swung the bat right there. On the circle change away, he goes down swinging, but TJ Friedel will not make it 3 straight strikeouts as he goes perfect into left center field. TJ Friedel's on with a 2-out double. He'll be standing on second for Bryce Harper, but Harper for the second time tonight strikes out swinging. Fastball gets him as we go into the top of the fourth. Nico Hoerner will fly out on that little blooper into right field. Brandon Nimmo on the 1-1 pitch, and Nimmo, with one swing of the bat, has tied this game up at 1 run apiece. It is an opposite field shot for Nimmo, and this game is again tied at 1. Big power numbers this year out of the outfielder for the Mets. His 28th of the season ties us up at 1 run apiece. Mauricio will come back and fly out into center field. So 2 gone in this inning for Matt Vierling on the 1-1 pitch. Vierling chops one to first, to short, De La Cruz to first, and we go on to the bottom of the 4th in a tie ball game. Spencer Steer doubled in his last AB. This time he'll hit one on the ground, and that one will be played well by the second baseman over in Honer. 1 gone for Teoscar Hernandez. He had the double in his last at-bat. This time he will ground out to short to Lindor. 2 down for Kyle Tucker on the 2-1 pitch. We got 3 straight hits out of these guys the first time around. This time, though, Peterson going to settle in and get those 3 in order. We go on to the top of the 5th. Mark Ventos going to hit that ball in the air right to Teoscar Hernandez on a line. Parada on the 1-1. The catcher will get popped out to his fellow catcher. There is Langoliers. 2 gone, 9 spot up. Dubon on the 1-1 pitch. Dubon hits that ball to center field right to TJ Friedl. So somewhat of a pitcher's duel so far, right? The Reds had their early offense getting those 3 straight hits, and Peterson has settled in, and for Urquidy just gave up 1 big fly to Nimmo. Which team is going to break through first? We've had a lot of hitter-friendly counts, as right there, Tommy Pham on a 3-1 pitch, though, just going to ground out to short to Francisco Lindor. Esteury Ruiz hits one hard, but straight on a line to Lindor. So we go to the top of the 6th. The Reds are making contact, but same can be said about the Mets. Lindor, another hit in this ball game. There's a single up the middle. Triolo now going to get popped out, though. There is Spencer Steer, as that ball is going to take him into foul ground. But that's your first out of the inning. 3 spot up. That means Nico Honer on the 2-2 pitch. Honer on the ground to Bryce Harper. Runner did move up on a passed ball, so Lindor now goes to 3rd with 2 outs for Brandon Nimmo. He's the reason this game's tied, but Nimmo going to strike out looking on that fastball up and away. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Luis Severino now pitching for the Mets, so a new arm, but Elly De La Cruz going to ground out to Lindor at short. TJ Friedl now the batter on the 2-1. It chops one to second base, and the Reds again still stuck at 1 run. Not much going on so far. Here comes Bryce Harper, as he will just throw the bat out there, and Harper's got extra bases. He'll be on second with an opposite field double. Harper standing on second for Spencer Steer on the 1-2 pitch. Can Steer bring in Bryce? Oh, Lindor gonna cut that one off and put away Steer at first. We are still tied at 1. Daniel Hudson will now come out to pitch in relief of one Jose Urquidy. And here comes Ronnie Mauricio first to the plate. He's going to hit that ball into center field right to TJ Friedl. 1 gone, 6 spot up. That means Matt Vierling on the 2-2 offering. Vierling going to hit that ball into shallow center. Here comes Friedl charging in. 2 up, 2 down so far for Hudson. And now on the 2-2 pitch, he'll have a 3 up, 3 down inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Teoscar Hernandez first! And Hernandez pulls a slider, and that might be the one that wins the division for the Reds. It's a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 7th with a big fly by Teoscar Hernandez. His 18th of the season, goes 424 feet. He's been so good in these spots all season long. The solo shot puts the Reds up by 1, but of course Cincinnati looking for more. Tucker hits that ball as far into that hole as you can get it, but it's going to be played well by the second baseman in Nico Honer. Shea Langoliers here on the 2-2 will line out, and now we bring in Xavier Isaac to hit for Tommy Pham. Just matchup-wise, we talked about Isaac in the open, and my goodness, he destroys the baseball. Could have got out, but it's off the wall. Xavier Isaac with 59 speed for a first baseman as well will be on with a 2-out double. So can we get an insurance run in for Esteury Ruiz batting? We can't. But the Reds have taken the lead at 2-1. We go on to the 8th inning. Pitching now will be Mason Miller. It is Miller time in the 8th, and his ERA is 5.12 so far this year. He'll get Kevin Parada first, and Parada can hit that ball into the gap. It is going to get down. Friedl can't get it off a hop. Parada will be in with extra bases, as he will be standing on second with a leadoff double. Dubon now, though, on the 1-2. Got him. On the whiff, on the slider away. 1 gone for Francisco Lindor. Strike 3 looking. Mason Miller up and in on a fastball. Triolo on the 1-2. Hits one on the ground. Elly De La Cruz has got it. And the Reds still have their 1-run lead on to the bottom of the 8th. Ellie De La Cruz up first against Luis Severino. That ball is hit a mile high, and it's going to die out at the wall. I thought it might have had the distance, but it doesn't. Friedel now on the 1-2 pitch, swings right through a slider. 2 gone in the inning for Bryce Harper on the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss on that pitch inside. So on to the top of the ninth, here comes Camilo Doval to try to get his 44th save of the season, 1.65 ERA on the year, and Nico Hoerner is going to softly hit one into the gap right there. It's going to be an infield single for him. Hoerner on first for Brandon Nimmo on the 1-1 pitch. Nimmo, oh my goodness, bloops one in the left. First and second, no outs on 2 softly hit baseballs. Mauricio now on the 1-1 pitch, another soft hit ball. Luckily, we've got 99 speed at shortstop. Ellie De La Cruz puts him away. So 1 down the inning for Matt Vierling on the 1-1 pitch. You gotta be kidding me. Vierling hits one of the softest hit balls you've seen. I mean, you just saw 2 in a row, but then you see another one. This game's tied. After an automatic walk, Francisco Alvarez comes to the plate and he strikes out. So got him on the sinker, 2 down, bases loaded, Dubon, and Duvall gets out of the jam. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Reds, if they're gonna win the division, need to walk off the Mets here tonight. Here comes Teoscar Hernandez after that Spencer Steer ground out, and that one's shot back up the middle, but it is played well by Francisco Lindor. 2 gone for Kyle Tucker on the 1-2 pitch. Tucker chops one up the middle. There is Lindor, and we will have extra bases here on this Sunday afternoon. Gregory Soto now comes out to pitch the 10th. 1.70 ERA on the year for him. We'll get Lindor first in the 1-1 pitch. Lindor sharply hit, but straight to Ellie De La Cruz. Runner at second cannot move anywhere. So Triolo comes up on the 2-2, chops one again to Ellie De La Cruz. Runner, which is Dubon, is still stuck at second. Can Soto get out of it? Nico Hoerner on the 3-1 walks. First and second, 2 outs. Here comes Brandon Nimmo on the 2-1 pitch. Nimmo up the middle. Another softly hit baseball, and the Mets are up 3-2. That's just how the sport works sometimes. I don't know what to say. Mauricio is going to get popped out. Esteury Ruiz is there. It's a 1-run game. The Reds are in need of one, and here comes the Mets' phenomenal closer so far this year, Phil Bickford, 0.84 ERA on the year, and Shea Langoliers does a job. Moves over the runner Kyle Tucker. Tucks at third for Xavier Isaac on the 2-2. Oh, that's the one swing you can't have. Matt McLain was getting a rest day tonight. He will now pinch hit for Esteury Ruiz to try to keep the game alive. McLain strikes out on a slider, and the New York Mets, who need this game for their playoff hopes, will win. And the Reds now fall to 91-52 on the season. Again, not too much of a concern that they're going to win the division. We're going to get 2 games in this one episode tonight because we're trying to win the division. We're going to take on the Washington Nationals here on the opener of this new series. Yeah, we should have had that game, but we kind of just choked it away at the end. The Mets had some timely hitting. So the Reds will try to win the division here tonight. The St. Louis Cardinals, who are in second place of the NL Central, has won tonight. So if the Reds lose, it will have to go again to tomorrow night against the Washington Nationals to try to clinch the division, but hopefully they can get it done tonight. We will have one Nick Lodolo on the mound for Cincinnati. The Nationals will be sending out a lefty as well. Lodolo on the season, 11-7 record, 4.64 ERA, 28 games he has started so far this year, and he will get CJ Abrams to start us off on the slurve away. 1 gone for Brady House in the 1-2. A lot of these young Nats in the lineup, but Brady House gonna blast one to left center. Everyone in tonight for the Reds, of course, except for Benson. So Friedel back to left, Ruiz back to center. But Brady House is on with a double. Here comes Keibert Ruiz. That one's gonna bloop into right field. Will House try to go to home? He will. Kyle Tucker with a throw. Perfect arm. Got him. Don't know why the Nationals sent House so early. All right, we'll take it. 2 gone for Tyrone Godfrey. He was a top 3 pick a couple of years ago, and Godfrey will get popped out to Matt McLain to end the inning. We are still knotted up at 0-0. Here is that aforementioned lefty for Washington, Ricky Tiedemann. He's been bad, 5.56 ERA in the season. We should be able to tee off, and exactly that's what Matt McLain does. rips one into deep center field. 113 off the bat. Perfect. McLean's on second base for TJ Friedel on the 1-1 pitch. Friedel, hits one hard, but right to the third baseman in Brady House. Bryce Harper playing against his former team in the 3-2 pitch will take a ball inside. Runners on first and second, one out for Spencer Steer. Steer deep left field, and the Reds are up 3-0 thanks to Spencer Steer's second deck home run. What a shot, and it feels like Cincinnati. I know it's the first inning, but it feels like this is a game they can get a hold of and hopefully go out and win. Steer's 19th of the season. It puts the Reds up 3-0. Still only one out, though, in the bottom of the first, and I really do like this pitching matchup, at least for Cincinnati. Teoscar Hernandez somehow gets one to drop into right. He's on with a single. Kyle Tucker now obliterates a baseball in left field, but going back on it in left will be MJ Melendez, the former Kansas City Royal. 2 gone for Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie chops one too short to CJ Abrams. We go on to the second inning, up 3-0, and Lodolo gets the ball back here against MJ Melendez first. That one's grounded to Spencer Steer at third base. We've got one down now for the 6th spot, which means Dylan Cruz on the 1-1. The former second overall pick from Louisiana State University will line out into right to Kyle Tucker. Brandon Bossier on the 3-2. Got him on the fastball up and in. Probably butchered the name again, but it's fine. We go on to the bottom of the second inning. Shea Langoliers up first. Just chops one up the middle. Play will be made by the second baseman over there in Sammy Infante. We've got one out for Esteury Ruiz. Ruiz will get flown out into left center. There will be Melendez again. 2 down, top of the order, turns over. Here comes Matt McLean. Gets almost a cut center fastball. Instead, that one's going to be flown out to the center fielder in Tyrone Godfrey. To the top of the third, the former Angel prospect Jeremiah Jackson will strike out. Now Sammy Infante comes up, and he will drill one to the left. That one's out of here in almost the same exact spot where Spencer Steer hit his home run. Infante, who has been struggling early in his Major League career, just got called up in September, has hit his first Major League home run. So that baseball will obviously be needed very soon. CJ Abrams will follow by flying out into left field to Friedel. We've got 2 down in the inning for Brady House. Doubled in his last AB. This time, House will fly out into center right to Esteury Ruiz. To the bottom half of the third inning, up first is TJ Friedel, lefty-lefty matchup. Friedel is late on a fastball, but it will bloop into left field. Friedel's on with a leadoff base knock, so put him on first for Bryce Harper. Friedel running here, and Bryce will hit one. Could have been a double play ball. Instead, Friedel is running, so he'll be on second base. Harper is obviously out. Now to the dish comes Spencer Steer. Homer in his last one. Steer, though, this time will ground out to second base and over to Infante. Something to note, too, the Nationals are DHing a middle infielder in Jeremiah Jackson. You just don't see that all that often, but it is what it is. Teoscar Hernandez will ground out to third. As we go into the top of the fourth, the switch-hitting catcher is up first, Keibert Ruiz. De La Cruz has to charge, but speed is not an issue when you're dealing with Ruiz. So we've got one out in the inning for Godfrey on the 1-1 pitch. The righty hits that ball into center field, and Godfrey will be on with a single. Runner on first with one out for MJ Melendez. Again, the former Royal will fly out to Esteury Ruiz. Finally, one Ruiz can get to in center. 2 gone. The batter will now be Dylan Cruz in the 2-2. Cruz will line one to the left. That ball's going to get down. First and second, 2 gone for the Nats. Go ahead, run to the plate. It's Bossier, and he will ground out to Spencer Steer. Steer goes to second to McLean to get the out. As we go into the bottom of the fourth, Kyle Tucker puts a pretty good swing on that baseball. There will be a leadoff single for him to start off the bottom of the fourth. Now to the plate, Ellie De La Cruz. On the 3-2 pitch, Ellie is just going to get popped out. Keibert Ruiz is going to take some steps back and put him away. We've got one out, runner on first for Shea Langoliers. Tucker running. Yeah, swung with Langoliers, swing and a miss, but Tucker with his 47 speed will be on second with that stolen bag. So Langoliers still at the plate now, a 2-2 count, and Shea gets a hold of that one. Deep right center. That ball's off the wall. Shea Langoliers will have extra bases. Tucker had a hold though, so he will only be on third. Second and third, one out for the 9 spot, Esteury Ruiz, and Ruiz will deliver. Right center field, that ball's got down. That's gonna score 2, and Ruiz will be off and running with his 93 speed. He'll be on with the double. 5-1 now the Cincinnati lead with Matt McLean at the plate. Ruiz running on the pitch. McLean deep right center. That's out of here. We saw both Langoliers and Ruiz almost hit that same exact spot, but ultimately just fall short in terms of getting it over the fence. McLean will not, as that's a home run. He ties Steer with 19 on the season, as Matt McLean with the solo shot makes this a 7-1 game. Everything now going in favor of the Cincinnati Reds. The Nationals pull their starter and go to the right-handed reliever in Cade Horton, as Friedel will fly out. Bryce Harper gonna stare at strike 3 questionably, but it's fine. The Reds are up by 6 as we go on to the top of the 5th. Just need a shutdown inning here from Nick Lodolo. Jeremiah Jackson gets on though with the leadoff single. Sammy Infante, homered in his last AB, this time takes ball 4. First and second, no outs, and now Abrams walks. They're loaded. Brady House in the 2-1. The bullpen is warming, and House gets one to drop in center field. It's now a 3-7 game. Still no outs for the Washington Nationals, as that'll do it for Lodolo. The Reds turn to James Karinchak. 5.84 ERA in the season so far. It hasn't been great. He was sent down to Louisville at one point in the season as well, but he will get his first out, getting Keibert Ruiz to fly out into left field to Kyle Tucker. They're going to test the arm. Tucker, oh man, almost got Abrams at third. Instead, they're on the corners with one out for Tyrone Godfrey. Putting one on the ground, Spencer Steers got it. Looks to home, now goes to second. To McLean, to Harper. Oh, the Reds turn 2. They get out the jam. Still a 4-run cushion for Cincinnati, as Spencer Steer will lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th, and he will fly out into right field, right to one Dylan Cruz. One out for Teoscar Hernandez. Can't catch up to the 97-mile-an-hour fastball by Horton. We've got 2 outs for Kyle Tucker, and he will ground out to first. So we go on to the top of the 6th inning. Drew Pomeranz, who's been very good this year, 1.8 ERA for Cincinnati, will come out to pitch. We'll see MJ Melendez first, and he will get him on the check swing, up and in on the hands. One down for Dylan Cruz. He will walk. Knuckle curve in, misses. One down for Bossier on the 1-2 pitch. That one's popped out. Shea Langoliers is under it, and that will put away the 7-spot hitter, bringing up the 8 spot, which means Jeremiah Jackson on the 2-1 pitch. Jackson going to get popped out. Who's going to take it on the infield? It will be Bryce Harper. To the bottom of the 6th, we now head. Ellie De La Cruz up first, and Ellie, oh my goodness, almost took Cade Horton's head off. Ellie's on with the single. He now looks to steal second. He will. De La Cruz is on second base for Shea Langoliers on a 2-2 pitch. We'll send him again. Oh, Shea strikes out looking in. Okay, Ellie gets thrown out at third by Keibert Ruiz. So just like that, 2 outs in the inning, and Esteury Ruiz is on with the single. So that single would have scored Ellie if we didn't try to steal with them, but it's fine. McLean comes up on the 1-1. There goes Ruiz in motion, and Esteury Ruiz is going to score on a softly hit ball, but you know, a ball you're not supposed to score on. It's an 8-3 game thanks to McLean's RBI double. They're going to score it, and TJ Friedel comes up and flies out into right field. But the Reds are up by 5, heading on to the top of the 7th. They are 9 outs away from winning the NL Central, and Matt Strom's in the game, and that's my fault. Brady House lines one to center field. Should have just been a single. Instead, I was like, I'm going to try to take one away with Esteury Ruiz. It didn't work. House is on with the triple. It's an 8-4 game. Runner on third for the Nationals, 2 outs, Tyrone Godfrey the batter, and he'll strike out in a fastball up and in. So still an 8-4 lead for the Reds. We will go straight to the top of the 8th. Gregory Soto, oh man, it's gonna go 1-2-3. Thanks to Spencer Steer flashing the leather. What a play by him. To the bottom of the 8th, Holden Powell, the pitcher now for the Nats, and I had to show this. Xavier Isaac. Not a perfect, but a blast. Opposite field and left. Xavier Isaac making the most out of his opportunities this year in the bigs. Isaac, of course, played last year when we sold everything at the deadline. He's come up strong here after being called up in September. Xavier Isaac makes it a 9-4 lead. Look at that human being. It's a 5-run lead again for the Cincinnati Reds as we go on to the top of the 9th. Mason Miller coming out with a 4.99 ERA, looking to send the Reds to the playoffs and clinch the division crown. Jeremiah Jackson up first, last one to left field. Of course, Isaac was pinch hitting for Ruiz. Coming in as a defensive substitution, Austin Hendrick. He will make the catch. 1 out for Sammy Infante. Ball's hit on the ground. Matt McLean has got it. The Reds are 1 out away. CJ Abrams will be the batter on the 2-1 offering. Miller deals. Abrams into left center field. TJ Friedel's got it, and that is your ball game. The Cincinnati Reds are heading to the postseason, but more importantly, they have won the NL Central for the third time in franchise history here in 2026. And now you can say this was expected, sure. I mean, you know, all the pieces we put together in the offseason, this team was definitely expected to make a run. They will beat the Nationals here tonight by a score of 9-14, or 9-4, excuse me. They out-hit the Nationals 14-9. But of course, with the additions made in the offseason, you're looking at Bryce Harper, Teoscar Hernandez, Kyle Tucker, and with Jose Urquidy as well. The Reds were more than built to go out here and make a run this season, and that's exactly what they have done so far. Now, the job is not done. We now head to the postseason. Tomorrow night, we will find out who we play and where our seeding takes us. Let's just hope we are not in that wild card spot, or at least playing the wild card in the first round. Much rather have the bye straight to the division series. So folks, thank y'all for watching episode number 42 of the Cincinnati Reds franchise mode here in MLB The Show 24. Another longer episode right before the postseason. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. And Mamba, forever.